Hello, my lovely people. So I'm back from the mentalness that is Marrakesh. What can I say? That place is a bit crazy. But crazy or not, it was actually really, really enlightening, to say the least. It was enlightening. It's Marrakesh is a really, I don't know, it's just weird. I mean, I've travelled to a lot of places in my time, and I really have. But that place, wow. I mean, it's like a civilization gone backwards by decades. Decades ain't even the word, to be quite honest. But I tell you what, it was just such a beautiful place to be. And I would go back again, actually. I bought some fantastic oils, beautiful oils. And yeah, I've come back to Blighty, and it's bloody freezing, and I've been indoors all day, and I've been working, actually, straight back to work, as you do. So I wanted to just pop on because I've missed you lot. I haven't done a live, then it feels like for ages. You know, I know I did a quick one on my birthday, and that was really just to thank everybody for the birthday wishes, but you know me and my lives, and I do like to just get on to Facebook Live and have a bit of a chinwag and just let it all flow out. Really, it's a good way to connect with people. So today's live, I wanted to talk about being true to yourself. Now, I'm going to apologise now if I ramble a little bit. Okay, hopefully I won't. But if I do, I'd like to apologise now. I don't think I will. Hopefully I won't. So I'm not going to go into the detail of all my past and all the rest of it, because I think I've worn that t-shirt, sold the video literally on a live and told the world about my trials and tribulations, and to get to where I am now. So this is a little bit of a different stance on it, really, because I've come a long way since I originally started to bare my soul, so to speak, or take off my mask. I had a conversation or a live about that, you know, only a few weeks ago, about how people walk around with a mask on their face, literally. So when you are your outward facing person or persona to the outside world will be one thing, but actually inside you're a completely different person, or you're feeling a completely different thing to what it is that you're showing. And it's quite a common practice that we do in this society, purely because of the just the way society is, really. It's like if you show your emotion, oh, what's that? Something's just dropped. If you show your emotion, it's seen as a weakness. If you speak your truth, sometimes it's seen as a weakness, but to be honest, it's not. It's actually a real strength, that if you can hold integrity, your internal integrity, close and dear to you, and live your life by that, it's a real strength. Now, I can see people are watching me. I don't know if you can hear me properly, so would someone just kindly just say hi, or send me a heart, or send me a thumbs up, or send me something, just so that I know that you can hear me okay, please? That'd be really, really helpful. So going back to this mask that we wear, and I've done it for years, and you do it a lot in the corporate world, actually, because in the corporate world you're kind of like conditioned, aren't you, that you have your place within the hierarchy. And within that hierarchy, you either are allowed to speak or you're not allowed to speak. And I found that when I was working in corporate world, I wanted to be able to speak. I wanted to be able to speak and have an opinion. Whether that opinion, from my experience, my foresight, my knowledge, or my observation was taken on board or not, didn't really matter. The fact that I needed to have and be allowed to have the opportunity to speak. And for me, that was really important. Hence why I climbed the ladder the way I did in order to get myself to a point where I could sit in a boardroom and then have those types of conversations. That for me was really important, because otherwise what would happen is I would be having this mask where I wanted to say and speak and feel, but I couldn't, because the hierarchical situation, the hierarchical environment wouldn't allow me to do so. And that's just one kind of example of wearing a mask. So being true to yourself, which is, as I said, the title of this live, is really, well, it's very, very important to me. And I do believe, and I really do believe this, it's really actually important to a lot of you guys out there too. And the reason I say that is based on the fact that we're getting old now. You know, a lot of people getting old. I mean, 50, come on. I don't feel I'm still in shock, to be honest. Sorry, I've got to laugh because I say this and I laugh so hard because I still can't believe I'm 50. I can't believe it, right? And I can truly say, hand on heart, right? I've had so much shit go on in my life. I've come out the other end so many times, like a Ferris wheel, round and round and round and round and round, that I feel I have a bit of authority to actually say the types of things that I do speak about now, because I've experienced it. I've been there, I've done it, you know, made the video, done the live. And so sorry, I told you I was going to ramble a little bit, so I do apologise. I get excited. You know what it's like. Well, you know what I'm like when I haven't done a live for a while. I'm taking my shoes off because, do you know what? I feel quite hot now. I've had the heating on all day, and Marrakesh was around 25 degrees, sunny, nice. I've got a little bit of a tan, nothing too out there and towy, but you know, it's a tan. So, as you go, or as I have, I've gone through this real healing process for quite a few years now, and it's stemmed back for quite a while, right back into my childhood. And as I said, this ain't about all of that, you know, I've been there, done that. But what it does do is it enables you to, once you take that mask off and hide, you know, you've got nothing else to hide behind, and you literally strip yourself back and you start wanting to understand you as an individual and you as a person. But in order to do that, you really do have to challenge yourself. You challenge yourself, you challenge your belief system, you challenge everything that you've ever known. Everything that you've ever known. Everything you've seen, everything you may have heard, everything you've ever read. Because it's all of those things that make you into who you are, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are being you. Because you take on this persona. You take on the persona of believing everything you read, of believing what you've been conditioned to believe, of believing your upbringing and what your family have told you, and the circumstances you've been in, believing in what happens when you're in a circle of people, believing in your peers at that present moment in your time of what goes on in that particular circle. And it's only until you actually strip all of that back, and I mean really bare your soul, that you get to the core centre of you and of who you are. And then it's about actually then starting, once you know and see that, it's then about starting to connect with that new individual that you've discovered of you. And that takes time. And I don't think that you know, it's definitely not an easy process. Believe me, it is definitely not an easy process to go through. And it does take time. That's not something that can happen overnight either. And so until you actually strip that all back, when you start thinking about all of the things in your life. So for instance, I talk about family conditioning a lot. So you're in your family and you're brought up in a particular way because it's a belief system that's been instilled from your mum, their mum, you know, your mum, your nan, your great nan, you know, and it comes down in the family line. Oh, hi Sam, hi, thank you for saying hi. And it comes down the family line, and it's like a cultural kind of just family belief system that then gets instilled in you. And you pick that up and you go along. So it will be something along the lines of, you know, you'll hear it when you're growing up. I did a lot. When I was growing up, I was the brainy one. I was always the brainy one. You're really brainy. So it was a lot of pressure on me because then I had to be the brainy one, you know. And actually it turned out I was the brainy one, but that's besides the point. Or you'll hear other things within the family where, you know, things are repeated to an extent where you believe them. So when you strip all of that back, all of it, and it takes, as I said, it takes a hell of a lot of time to do that. You strip it right back, peeling onions. It's like that, peeling an onion, to really get down to that core of who you are. And when you find that person of who you are, you've then got to decide, well, do you like that person of who you are, or do you need to strip it back that little bit more? Then you strip it back a little bit more, and it's like, well, do you actually like that person you really are, or is that who you really need to be? And you go on and on and on in this circle. Now, I want to talk a little bit about something that happened to me, which was really a significant moment in my life that kind of like put a lot of this stuff into perspective for me. And there's a few moments that I could actually bring into play. But there was this one particular one, and you know, if you know me, you will know I'm always on this self-discovery. I've always been on a self-discovery journey, whether that's in my business world, whether that's in my academic world, but I never actually really took the time to look at me, because I just thought if I'm in that academic world and I'm in that business world, that defined who I was as an individual. And it doesn't do that. You know, it has to be more holistic than that. You have to look at all of the elements within your life to be a grounded, rounded person. And so I was doing a lot of workshops, going to a lot of workshops over a period of time, and there was a coach. It was a wife and husband and wife actually, and I'd seen quite a lot of their posts previously, and I'd kind of like been to something of theirs before, but it was this particular day that really, really grabbed me. And I kid you not, I mean, there was about, 30 people there, and it was a 2-day event, and it was actually, I don't know if it was even that expensive, to be fair. Eternal seeker, Sam. Yeah, I think you are absolutely right there. I'm so with you on that one. And I went along to this anyway because I thought, no, I'm going to do this discovery. It was all about coaching, basically mentoring, coaching, and I trained to do life coaching 20 years ago, something along those lines. And I've always used my skill set within the corporate world just because I managed people and I led people through transformational change within organisational structures. So I used all of these skills that I'd, trained in to help people come along with the process. And it was only a few years ago I thought, I want to really reignite this again. I want to get going with that again. I want to get that passion back because I love helping people. I love helping people get from one stage in their life to another stage in their life, but empowering them to do so. So I thought to myself, well, this is going to be perfect for me. So I'm going to go along. And I tell you what, it was actually quite transformational because People actually left the room in tears. People were so moved that they were speechless. And the thing that got me the most was this particular analogy that they spoke about. And I can't, there's no way I'm going to do this justice, right, at all. But it goes something along the lines of this, right, which really kind of resonated with me, especially at that present moment in time. I was deep, fucking not even knee deep, I'm talking chin deep in the healing process I was going through around all the stuff that was happening with my family. And it just resonated with me so much that I took that on board and I held that close to me, because that told me everything where I was at that particular point in my life. And these two coaches are phenomenal. I've got to say this. They are phenomenal, and they've been doing it for years. So this particular thing goes like this, right? So it's all about the road of fear. Now, you know, and I know, or you should know by now, that a lot of people do live in fear. They live in fear. They don't take risks. They don't take chances because it's the fear of not knowing. It's the fear of not succeeding. It's the fear of looking stupid. It's the fear of losing money. It's the fear of whatever the fear may be, right? And I don't really care about none of that stuff, as you can tell, because I have no fear. Definitely not about looking stupid, that's for sure. Because I constantly just put myself out there and I don't care, right? Because I'm past all that. Anyway, so there we are. So we're on this, there's this like a road. It's like a roundabout. And this roundabout is like it's on this roundabout, you've got various exits that come off. And one of them is an exit to the road of fear. Another one is an exit to the unknown. And what happens is people go around this roundabout and they come to the road of the unknown. And they're sitting there in their little car, as you do, you know, just in their life generally. They're sitting there and they're looking because they want to move. They want to move to this unknown, right? But what they do is, because they fear the unknown and they fear the fact that they've never been to that place. They don't kind of like grasp it. It's out of their comfort zone. They continue back around the roundabout and they end up down the road of fear. And down this road of fear, there's a load of people. There's lots and lots and lots and lots of people down this road of fear. In fact, there's a community of people down this road of fear. And in that community of people, there could be lawyers, there could be therapists, there could be doctors, there could be travellers, there could be an arrangement of people within this community. And what they do, they're all sitting in their comfort zone, and they're all sitting there and they're all just literally living their life in this kind of belief system that has been developed from the fact that they're in a community type setting. So they're all bouncing off of each other. And while they're all bouncing off of each other, certain things go on. When you live in fear, it has a very negative connotation on your life. And when you live in that arena, you have instances where addiction will come into play. So you'll get people drinking, you'll get people taking drugs, you'll get people gambling, you'll get people doing all of those kind of things. You'll get the domestic violence, you'll get all of that because you are playing with fear in a negative connotation. Now, to some people, that's the norm, and they see that as the norm. And it's not because they're stupid. It's not because they're stupid in any shape or form, right? It's because they're not spiritually awakened. And when you become spiritually awakened, you kind of start looking at this fear aspect that is holding you back from achieving where it is and who it is you want to be. And it's only at that point, once you become spiritually awakened, and you can only get to the spiritually awakening piece once you've done the healing, because you have to go through the healing process. And then you start to realise, actually, that man that beats his wife, or that woman that beats her husband, that's not normal behaviour. Because when you're spiritually awakened, all you want to do is fill your heart with love. And you just want to have love around you. You just want to be in a community of people that are there all for each other from a place of the heart. And beating the crap out of somebody doesn't come from a place from the heart, that's for sure. We know that. We all know that, really. But until you get to that point, it actually seems like it's the norm, because you're living in a community where it continuously happens. So you become immune to the fact that this is going on. With the gambling, with the addiction, and when people live in the negative connotation because of the fear aspect, that's when all the negative traits come out in people. And at that point in my life, I had a lot of that going on within my family situation. You'll probably remember I spoke about my narcissistic sister, what she was doing, and just all the things that was happening, which was completely unbeknownst to me. That I didn't understand what on earth was going on in my life. I just didn't get it. I didn't understand how people could be so vile. Absolutely so vile, especially to someone that they allegedly loved, your family. Now, what happens when you become spiritually awakened and you realise that you've been living in this fear, or you've normalised some of these behaviours, which you now actually deem as not being normal and not being from a place of your core centre, because that doesn't fit with who you are as an individual? You come out of the realm, you step out of the realm, and you come out and you want to carry on up that road. And when you come out of the realm, you're kind of like, you're shut off by all of that community that you once knew. But on the same token, you know you don't want to go back there, so you continue around this road until you get to this place where you could actually come off of that roundabout and start seeking people that are more true to who you are as an individual now, and and live a life that you want to live, because that's how you find your peace, your inner peace, and it comes from your heart, and it comes from your core, and it comes from your centre. And at that moment in time, I was actually totally taken aback with the fact that I had a realisation that was me. That was actually me. I'd been spiritually awakened, even though I was trying to awaken myself for a long time. Because the other thing that happens is these people that are around you try to keep you down. They don't want you to be awakened. They want to keep you down. They want to keep you in that community. They want to keep you in their realm, under their control and their manipulation. But unless you're strong enough to pull out of it, especially when you then step into no man's land, or the feeling that you're in no man's land, because you're now then searching for a new community. You search for a new community. Luckily for me, I've always been a bit of a loner anyway, and I will travel on my own and I'll do what I like, when I like, as and when. I'm very, very fierce. In fact, I'm fiercely independent. And I think that was a lot of the issue, going back to what was going on with the family and stuff like that. Because people don't understand it. They don't my TV's gone off. They don't understand it. They don't understand why you don't think the way they do. They don't understand why you think differently. And you can't have the conversation with them. You can't have the conversation. And these are intelligent people. As I said to you, these are not people that would necessarily You know, they're intelligent people. Some of them have got master's degrees. Some of them are politicians. You know, it's not about your education level. It's about your spiritual sense. That's what it's about. And I don't know what's going on there. Just turn that down. It's about your spiritual sense of where you are in your life. So what happens is, as you then come out of that little realm and out of that community and you start to search out new people, you tend to find people that you actually think are on your level, but then it transpires that actually they're not. They're still in that road of fear because they don't understand. And that's not a negative thing, as I'm not saying it in a negative context, but you become very, very aware very, very quickly of the people that actually are still part of that, in that road of fear. Very educated people, whereby you can't have a conversation with them because they are still living in that fear that they need to be right. They need to have the last word. They don't quite understand where you're coming from, so therefore they're going to put you down. They're going to dismiss you. They're going to do all of those things. So it's easier for me. What I just do, I just walk away from it now, because I can't be asked with the debate. I'm not here to make someone do something they don't want to do. That's not what I'm on this planet for. I'm not here for that reason. I'm here because I want to spread the joy of the spiritual side of me that I found, and helping people to find their centre, their core, to understand who they are, not who they've been conditioned to be. And the only way you can do that is if you start looking at yourself like Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. You have to. You have to challenge yourself. You have to challenge your core beliefs. You have to understand where your belief system came from. Was it your mum? Was it your dad? Was it your sister? Was it your brother? Was it your school? Was it the books? What was it? Where did it come from? Do you believe it really? Just because you read it in a book? Do you feel that really? Just because someone says that you should feel a particular way? No. No is the right way to look at that. Everybody has the ability to tap into their own intuition, especially, even more so, when you get, I'm going to say it again, when you get to 50 years of age. I still can't believe it. I'm still in shock. And I'm going to continue to say this for weeks. I'm sure I am. You know, when you get to my age, right, and when you get to the 50, and you've had so many experiences in your life, why would you settle for something that you know in your heart is not normal behaviour? Why would you do it? Why? I don't know why. Oh, well, I certainly won't anyway, that's for sure. So where was I going with all this? So what was the title of this again? Oh yeah, being true to yourself. So back to the being true to yourself. So that was a real significant moment for me. And that was a couple of years ago. I went to that seminar, and it really just made me think to myself, do you know what, Angela? Don't worry about what other people are doing. Let them get on with it. If they have an opinion, they're entitled to that. They're entitled to an opinion. But don't take it on as your opinion, because you have your own new, well, they're not new, they've always been there. I just had to reignite and find who I was again, because I had been conditioned from the education system, from the corporate world, from my colleagues I used to work with, from the family, and all the things I submerged myself into, which was fantastic. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking it. But you submerge yourself in everybody else's opinion, and whether that's reading, whether that's in conversations, and you forget about you and who you are. And it's really, really important. And I know people think that, this people, especially people that know me, especially people that have known me for years and years, would know I've never been this vocal about me as an individual and who I am, because all I've ever done is listen to other people's. I've always been the confidant. I've been the person everybody else comes to talk to me about what they're doing, what they're feeling, and all the rest of it. And to be honest, I was a dumping ground. I was an absolute dumping ground. And I stopped all that. I said, no more, because people are just dumping their shit and dumping their opinions on me. And I started to lose a little bit of, well, who am I now then? But I know who I am now, and I really do know. And I've known who I am. I know who I am, and I know who I have been for years. I've just never really expressed it because I haven't had the opportunity to express it. And I've always kept it to myself. And all these things and all the experiences, good or bad or indifferent, I've kept it all to myself. And clearly I don't do that anymore. That's a given. But one of the clear things that I really am so keen on doing is helping individuals, whatever their age, doesn't matter how old they are, whether that's a 9-year-old, whether that's a 30-year-old, whether that's a 15-year-old, to tap into and try to understand who they are as an individual, not who they're being conditioned to be. We shouldn't allow other people to condition us to be anything apart from who we want to be. And when we tap right in to the core and find our internal integrity, and throw the fear out the window, fuck the fear, throw it away, and start to express ourselves in an honest, open and transparent and respectful way, life becomes so much easier. Obstacles melt away. Challenges become less. Productivity in our own life increases untold. And we move forward in a direction that we're driven and destined to go. And that is key for anyone. When you think about our life, so we're born and we die. Those two things are definitely a given, right? When you're born, you're definitely going to die at some point. If we're lucky, we are going to reach a nice age that we can enjoy because we don't have to work anymore, and we will be healthy, and our quality of life will be nice. Okay, so let's say, just for argument's sake, let's say 80 as a average, right? I think it may be 85 in the UK for women, but as an average, okay, let's say 80 to 85. So we go to school. You have to go to school till you're 18 now. So you're conditioned while you're in school. You're conditioned with your family. You're conditioned by your peers at that point. Right up to the time you're 18. And then you'll either go to university or you'll go to work. Yeah? And then when you do get a job, let's just make a few figures up here, right? So you'll say if you do go to uni, I mean, you don't have to go to uni. You might get a job straight away. Right, but let's just make up some figures. So you go to work, say at 20 on an average, right? You go to work, and then you work until you're 67. 67! How many years is that? 47 years you are working. You're working for 47 years. Now, you can either go through life during that period and just say, I'm just going to suck it up. I'm just going to get my paycheck. I'm going to go, fuck it. I've been paid. I'm going to do whatever. You can do that. Yeah. Oh, can't wait for the weekend. Oh, I can't wait for my holiday. Oh, I can't wait for this. Oh, I can't wait for that. You can do that. and you can bitch about it constantly. Or you can actually have an awakening in yourself and think, actually, 47 years doing the same shit every day that you actually don't want to be doing, or being in a situation that you don't want to be doing, because you do choose. You choose whatever is going on in your life. You choose it. And if you don't like what's in your life because you want to be true to yourself, then you make a choice. You have to make a choice. If not, for 47 years, you'll just be working and bitching. That's what's going to happen, and getting your paycheck and just living a really sad, miserable fucking life. Or you change it. And you change that. But the only way you're ever going to change that is if you step out of fear. That's the only way. The only way you're ever going to change that is if you start peeling back the layers of yourself on all those beliefs that you've inherited, to find who you are, to ignite the passion within yourself of who it is you want to be and what legacy you want to leave in this world. It's the only way to do it. You have to be true to yourself. Or you carry on in that road of fear, live in that community, you bitch, you drink, you smoke, you do whatever it is, you're fucking killing yourself left, right and centre because of the habits that you form. And you continue and you die young, or you do reach your retirement age and you're so ill because of the way you've treated yourself that your quality of life is just crap anyway. So, God, I did ramble a bit there, didn't I? Well, I do apologise for that. But I kind of felt I needed to say it. So there you go. The only way to be true to yourself is to forget about what anyone else thinks. Fuck their opinions, right? Because this is your life. Don't worry about what they're doing. Worry about you. Worry about what you want. In fact, don't even worry about it. Just take action. Define it. Take the action. Go for it. If you mess up, don't matter. Doesn't matter. Failure is all part of the process. But just continue with that. Stick with your integrity, because that's who you are. Find you. So on that note, I'm going to leave you, and if anyone has any questions about anything I've said, because I know there's been some people watching, it'd be nice if you interacted, but doesn't matter. If anyone's got any questions about anything I've said, if anyone wants to talk to me about my mentoring program, that helps people empowers people to help them make the right, decisions for them, to move them forward in the stuff that they want to do within their life. Because remember, 47 years of working in a shit place that you don't want to be, surrounded by people you don't even want to be with, it's not a good place to be, is it? So if anyone wants any help trying to understand and figure out what it is they'd like to do, then please do contact me. I'm here. I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to talk with all of you, because it's something I'm really passionate about it. Very, very passionate about it. And on that note, I'm going to have my little glass of wine, because it's first day back home and I'm so happy to be home in my home comforts. But I did have a beautiful holiday in Marrakesh, and I'll definitely go back there. But on that note, I'm going to bid you all good night. So if you have watched this evening, thank you for watching. And if you're going to watch if you do watch the replay, or if you've watched the replay, thank you for watching. And if you have any questions or would like to just reach out to me, make contact with me, regardless of the mentoring program, just to reach out to me, please do. Please do. I'll happily share my experiences, and I'll happily share some of the tools that I use to get me through where I've needed to go on a daily basis. And is it Wednesday today or Tuesday? Oh, it's Wednesday, isn't it? See, holiday head's still on. Have a fantastic evening, and I will touch base with you again very, very soon. Take care. Thank you for watching. Bye now.